Hi, hello. I am glad that you are watching the live stream because today we're going to be talking about meal prep, especially how to track your meals in cooked batches or whenever you are cooking like in more portions, because I know that so many of you are struggling with that. So maybe you are cooking soups, curry, chili, stews, goulash, or anything like that is like in a bigger portion, and then you take just a couple spoons, or you just gonna take like a small portion. For example, maybe you are cooking for the whole family, and then you are thinking, how am I supposed to track all this? Like, what the fuck am I doing? How do I put my calories in? What is the protein in this, and so on? So that is actually what is confuses so many ladies in the program. But once you know the system, it is actually super simple. Okay, so I'm gonna share with you all my tips and secrets. So whenever you will finish this video, please let me know, so I know that you've learned it, and then you will master everything in your nutrition, and it will be all green. Okay, not yellow, not red, but green. So basically, meal prep does not mean that you will be spending the whole Sunday making chicken and rice and broccoli for the next 7 days. I don't want you to eat like that at all. So we can simply cook for portions instead of the one. So, for example, if you are super busy, you know that you will have a lot of work the next week. You know that you want to lose weight, but you need some kind of help with the nutrition. Like you need to kind of like nail it down. So you will cook upfront. So my tips would be cooking for 4 portions instead of one. So I want you to always think of, okay, can I cook for one extra person? Or can I cook for 3 extra people? Or can I cook for the whole family? Even though you don't have a family, maybe, then I want you to think of, okay, can I cook for a family of 4? Then if you have a family, I want you to be like, okay, how can I cook for a family of 8, let's say, instead of just 4? So we always want to like double down on it. Then we definitely want to prepare any protein for the next few days if you are super busy. You can also chop any veggies in advance as well. It will be still fresh if you're gonna use it for the next days. And then I want you to keep your meals super easy. You don't need to use, I don't know, 10, 15 ingredients as to make your meals super tasty, okay? Especially if you love food, meal prep can give you more variety because you are not waiting until you are starving and then you are eating whatever is the quickest in your cupboard, in your fridge. The goal is not perfect, is not being perfect, it is the consistency. Okay, and then the goal is to make your life easier and you're gonna make healthier choices. So for example, if you are cooking, before you're gonna cook, weight everything that is raw. Okay, every single ingredient that you put into the recipe, we want to cook it raw. I know it sounds like, oh my god, it's gonna be so much, but it's not actually, because then it's gonna save you so much time later on. So let's say we're gonna have potatoes. So instead of just like putting into the tracker one medium potato, I don't want to see medium, small, cups, teaspoons, and so on. We always want to track it by grams because that will give us the best numbers, and this is how you're gonna see faster and better results. So let's say potatoes. So you are cooking for the whole family. I want you to like use the potatoes that you will be using and then put it into, I don't know, into a pan and then put it on the kitchen scale. So it will say, let's say 600 grams of potatoes. So now we have the 600 grams for the whole family. I want you to write it down. I am usually using my notes in my app or just on the paper if that's easier for you. So we have 600 grams of potatoes. Then we're gonna use, instead of like one chicken breast, we're gonna use 1 kilo of chicken breast. So you're gonna put 1 kilo of chicken breast. Then we're gonna use, let's say, 200 grams of zucchini for the whole family. So we're gonna put 200 grams. Then we maybe use, I don't know, 200 grams of Greek yogurt for a sauce or cottage cheese. So we're gonna put down the Greek yogurt. If you have any more ingredients, you need to use oil. Let's put, I don't know, let's measure it. Let's put like 10 grams of oil for the whole family. So we know that we have this. Or if you have any dressings, mayonnaise, stuff like that, always like measure that for the whole family. You can either put it in like a bowl and then put the whole amount that you will be using for the whole family, then put it in a bowl and then be like, okay, mayonnaise 100 grams, which I'm gonna be using for the whole recipe. Oil, sauces, and dressings are especially important because they can add so much calories into the recipe without adding much volume. So you will be maybe starving and you'll be like, how come it has like 600 calories even though I am hungry again? So always oil, sauces, and dressings are really important. You don't need to track any seasonings at all because no one ever got fat after seasonings, okay? So we definitely want to have like just the ingredients that are high in calories. And then what you will be doing after you have all this, you want to either cook it, just enjoy it, enjoy the process. And then what I am actually doing, once it's cooked, I put it into my boxes. So for example, if I know that I'm cooking for the next 4 days, I want you to put it into 4 meal boxes. And then the numbers that we put on a paper before, like 600 grams of potatoes on the 1 kilo of chicken, you're gonna divide it into 4. So now it's gonna be, I don't know, 200 grams of chicken and then just 100 grams of potatoes. You know what I mean? So this is what you will be tracking in the app. It's just the divided number by 4 if you are cooking for 4 people or 4 meals. And then what you will be doing, once you're gonna put all this number into the app, then you're gonna copy paste it and then you're gonna put it into the next days. So you don't need to think about it anymore, okay? So this is what I am actually doing. It's super simple. You don't need to be super perfect with every single meal box, okay? It will be just rough idea. What I'm using is either I am just like putting on the kitchen scale the boxes so I know that the grams are the same. So let's say I'm gonna put a soup or the potatoes and the chicken and so on. So I'm gonna put it on the kitchen scale and it will say I don't know, 50 grams of cooked potatoes, but we don't want to track the cooked potatoes, okay? We want to track the ones that we have the raw. And then you will just put like 50 grams in each of the meal prep box. That way you are making sure that the weight in each box is the same. So you will have more energy and you will not be guessing the calories. It will be the same on a daily basis, okay? So this is what I would do. Or if you are cooking pasta, something that is like together and you cannot really weigh each ingredient separately, then what you will be doing, still do the same things, like you put everything raw into my app or onto your paper, onto your notes. But for example, like mixed cheesy pasta with chicken and spinach and mushrooms. So obviously it will be super hard to divide the pasta. So what I usually do, I honestly just take the whole bunch from the pot, putting it into the meal prep box, weighting the whole meal prep box. Let's say it will say 200 grams for everything. So I'm making sure that I have 200 grams in each meal box, for example. And then still you are dividing the raw ingredients beforehand. I know it makes sense. I hope it makes sense, okay? Because this is how you can distribute everything very reasonably, evenly. If one bowl contains mostly broth and another contains most of the meat and potatoes, their macros will be not identical. So we always want to make sure that we have same amount of chicken, same amount of protein, kind of same amount of pasta, same amount of potatoes. Because if one day you will be low on the potatoes and then the next day you will have a bit more, then your energy will be up and down and you will feel it in your workouts, in your sleep as well. Okay. So yeah, this is how I do it. You can also create recipes in my app, so you don't need to always come back to it, especially if you are cooking similar meals all the time. So you can create a full recipe in the app, choose the servings. So for example, if you cooked this meal for 4 meals and you know that you will be cooking it for the next time, then just put 4 meals and then divide the food equally into those 4 containers. And then you want to just record 1 container every time that you eat it and then just copy paste it for the next days, okay? You can also freeze it. You can put a label on the container as well. I would always have like 2 containers in the fridge. So to keep it fresh. And then for anything that is 3 days onwards, I'm usually putting it into the freezer, and then I'm just taking it out from the freezer when I know I'm super busy and I don't have time to cook. Okay, so this is what you can do. Hopefully it all makes sense. If you have any questions, please always let me know, but hopefully I covered everything. So yeah, hopefully that was valuable, and I'm gonna speak with you soon. Bye.